What's up, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Ordinary E. And before I explain what all of this is and what's happening in this video, let me remind you about the giveaways that's currently going on. So currently we have a giveaway here which nobody has claimed from the last video, which are the Hall effects for your PS5. So comment on this video if you want to be in with a chance to win those. I will re-roll these on the next video, so they're up for grabs. And don't forget, we have a PS5 Hall effect controller to give away as well once we reach 500 subscribers. We also have the Dell XPS PC here that I'm giving away mainly to the UK residents, just because I don't know how to ship it. Also on top here is the laptop, so once I've finished with all laptops left, I'll be giving away my own personal laptop that I started my YouTube channel with. So make sure you subscribe, comment, get someone else to subscribe. Now I'll explain what's happening in this video. So while I'm waiting for you guys to subscribe, I'm going to kick off season 3 of my personal PC upgrade. Now if you saw in the first season, I built a PC for free using parts that I managed to obtain from Gumtree, friends, Facebook, Trash Nothing, and we managed to build a PC. It couldn't do anything other than go on the internet and play some YouTube videos. Other than that, couldn't do much more. We then in season 2 upgraded that PC with parts again taken from Facebook, Trash Nothing and Gumtree, and we managed to get the PC to actually play Destiny 2, and we got a whopping 4 FPS if I remember rightly. You'll have to go back. If I get a clip, I'll try and put it in this video of that performance. There was a Cinebench score which will go onto my PC in a minute and show you my specs as they currently stand and what we're trying to get better using here. My main purpose was to try and get a better video editing software working, which was DaVinci Resolve, which is a free software that you can use apparently, and although I managed to download it and open it, I couldn't use it, and I think the reason being is I'm being bottlenecked by the motherboard. Now I only thought bottlenecks were CPU and GPU related, but no, any component can bottleneck your system. So I believe because the motherboard in there, I put 16 gigabytes of RAM on it, but it can only go to a maximum of 8 gigabytes of RAM. So my thinking is the motherboard is stopping me from progressing any further with a better editing and also being able to play A-listed games or AAA listed games. So I'm hoping with the stuff again I've accumulated from Trash Nothing, Facebook and Gumtree, once again for free, I'm hoping somewhere here is going to be a better motherboard that will give me the capability of increasing the RAM to hopefully 16 gigabytes at least, and also possibly a better CPU. At the moment I have Intel CPU chips there, and I have Intel boards here. We also have some boards in boxes, and we have been given a motherboard here which I believe is AMD. I think that's what they told me, but apparently it wasn't working. We haven't looked in some of these boxes. Some of them we have before, so I don't know what's in those again. And yeah, basically what we're going to do is we're going to try and better what I have currently in the system. Now let me show you the PC again. So if you've been watching from last season, you'll know this is how the PC looks at the moment. Ignore the printer and the extra storage there. That's just for the eBay side of things that you can see on my channel as well, which I'm doing about trying to escape the Matrix, which I actually think we need to dive into the Matrix rather than escape. So that's coming out soon again. But yeah, we upgraded last time the keyboard to the Logitech, and we upgraded the G-Logitech mouse as well. We put the RAM in there. We put an SSD in there, which was the upgrade from last season, and that sped up the machine no end. So that was good, but it's just not being able to edit. So the only editing tool I can use at the moment is CapCut. And what we'll do now is just check out the specs, what's going on the machine, and I'll probably screen capture this. Okay, so those of you who are familiar with my previous videos, you'll know that this is the spreadsheet we've been updating along the way, and we've taken account of all of the components that I've managed to obtain, and these are the components currently in the system, and this is how much it would cost if you was to buy them today brand new from anywhere you can get them from. And at the moment my system would cost £825. This is how much you could build my system for from eBay, and this is how much it's cost me so far, zero. So that's where we are. This was the previous Cinebench, that's the laptop score there by the way. This is the previous Cinebench score on a single core CPU, 624, not great. This was the multi-core, 229, 2291, again not great. Currently sits at 40 C's. Temperature when running these tests, probably about the low 30s just normally, and in heaven benchmark it got 4 FPS. So yeah, 4 FPS. This is how I picked my last motherboard. So we've already seen the Intel E2088, if I've still got that, and the Foxconn, so we don't need to look at those again because we already picked the Acer H61H2. Alongside here I have highlighted probably some of the key components that I need to now upgrade my system. What I'm looking for is probably this one as well, something that can support a higher CPU, but in order to do that I'm going to need a higher CPU. At the moment the CPU I have in there is a i5-2320, and it clocks at 3 gigahertz. It's got 4 cores and 4 threads, and to be honest with you, it's not that bad. It uses 95 watts and it's got a boost clock of 3.3, so it's not a bad CPU. The socket is an LGA 1155, so if I've got a motherboard on my table there that has a 1155. I can try and pair that with this CPU. Should be good. It does use DDR3 dual channel memory. I think it can use more than the 8 of memory that I've got in there, so hopefully it can handle 16. I'm trying to find some other features and whatnot. This is the ones I've already looked at, I have in my possession, that we looked at in the last series, and that's how I got to picking this CPU. So with the motherboard, we are going to line up any new motherboards. Alright guys, so we are back over here with the motherboards, and I have gone ahead and printed off all the specifications for each motherboard, which we can run through. However, we can get rid of some that we know about, which was this Foxconn from the last series or last 2 series, and we know that it's got bent pins. We know it wasn't as good as the one in my PC at the minute, so we can bypass this one. The other thing we do know that's in my system at the moment is that it is an Intel processor. So I've had a look at this motherboard. It's the B450M DS3H ultra durable gigabyte motherboard, but I noticed on here it just says AM4 socket, which is AMD Ryzen 5000 series, 3rd gen, 2nd gen, 1st gen. It looks like they can support every single AMD socket. So there's 2 CPUs in the world at the moment that are, you know, primarily the ones everyone uses, which is AMD and Intel. There is other ones, but that's the ones we primarily look at. I'm going to put the AMD motherboard to the side at the moment, along with this one. Now this does say on the spec sheet that it supports Intel, but I thought the guy told me it was an AMD. So what we'll do is we'll take this off and just see what processors in there, and we'll do that in a bit. The other motherboard that I'm not quite sure about is this one here. It's the H10 Pro BTC. Now of course, whenever you get second-hand stuff, you're not quite sure if it's the same stuff on the box that is in the box, but this one here, yeah, it is the same motherboard. I don't see why you couldn't use this in a PC, in a PC personal computer setup, but what's stopping me from using this at the minute, that it's DDR4. However, I now know that these might be DDR4 on these RAM sticks. Now when the guy says to me it didn't work, I've noticed that the RAM sticks are in the far right hand side of the slot. I don't think that's right. I think you're meant to go one slot, miss a slot, and then another slot, and they should be numbered 1, 2, 3 and 4, and they are. So you've got 1, so it's backwards, so 1's over here and 2 is in between. So possibly his RAM was in the wrong place, but we're gonna, if this works, and we'll come over to the specs in a minute. Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know what to do about this one. Can I use it? It looks pretty good. It has a ton of PCI slots, so I could put like potentially a lot of graphics cards maybe. It does support 8th and 9th gen, so I don't know what the socket is, unless it tells me somewhere. Okay, so it's a socket 1151, which we know that our socket, our CPU at the moment in the PC is 1155, so that won't work unless I have a 1151 CPU down there, which I have no idea of at the moment. But at the moment what I'm looking for is a better board than mine that can use my CPU. So I'm looking for a 1155 motherboard compatible with my CPU, my computer chip that's in there at the moment. So a 1151 will not do. And also it's a mining board. I don't know if we can use it. This one, I didn't look at the specs or print it off because I saw that it's AMD 64. It's an old board. It's not going to be better than mine. Plus I don't have an AMD CPU. And then having looked inside, actually there is, it could be a CPU attached to it, and it's got an SLI, so you can hook up 2 graphics cards, I believe. So quite possibly there is an AMD processor in here. Having looked at the memory, it only goes up to 4 gigabytes, I believe, even though it has 4 slots. I guess you can only put 1 gigabyte per slot. So to me that wasn't a goer for me. I bypassed this one as well. For now, we will use it in a future build and see what it does do. So I just wanted to bypass those at the moment and get them off the table for now and concentrate on the ones we do have that are Intel. So let's start with this one, which is an ASRock H61MS. Now the thing with this one, it has a Intel H6, concentrating on the ones that I highlighted on the screen earlier. The chipset is a H61. That matches what we got already. The memory it uses is DDR3. That matches. The capacity is 16 gigabytes, exactly what we're looking for. So it's more than the 8, takes me to 16. Now the key question is, what is the socket? The socket is an LGA 1155. Perfect. So this motherboard, I can quite simply right now swap my CPU into this motherboard and it will work, and I can increase my RAM usage, and that might get me a bit more further. Now the other thing I wanted to do is the internet speed. Now I have no idea why, but it just says 10 by 100 Ethernet. Wacom LAN supports PXE. I have no idea what that is. Whether that's better than what I've got on now or not, I do not know. And does it support USB 3? Do I have that with this? It has a bunch of support for graphics. this. Pretty much the same resolution as what I have already. PCI slot 3 times 16 and a 2 times PCI 2 times 1. Can't see anything about the USB. But as it stands, this one's okay. We can swap that out. We can increase our RAM. Exactly what I'm looking for. Don't know about the internet. Don't know about the USB. Alright, moving over to this one. This is a gigabyte. It's a H55M-S2 or GA-H55M-S2. It's Intel H55 Express chipset. It supports 753. It's an LJ1156, so we need a 55, so that's not going to do. Goes up to 8 gigabytes of RAM memory using DDR3, so that's not good because that's exactly what we got already, so that's not an improvement. Does have 10, 100, 1000 megabyte LAN. Don't know if that's good. Better than what I got. USB 2. Alright, so this board looks like it's not better. So that one's off the table, guys. Next one we got up here is this, which is an Asus H110M motherboard. Oh, this is a DDR4, so that means it's faster RAM, 2133 megahertz, and you can go up to 32 with 2 slots, so 16 and 16. Now I don't know if I have 2 16s or just 1 16 or 2 8s. I don't know what it can do. Resolution's the same. It's an LGI 1151, so not a 55. So unless I've got a 51 chip, I'm not going to be able to use this. So it has more RAM, so that's the one good thing. It has 3.0 USB, 2 good things. It has gigabit LAN, so that's bigger than megabyte, right? Okay, so the internet's better as well. So this board is the best one so far with regards to more RAM, faster internet, USB 3, has a bunch of other features like boost performance, fast, just loads of words about boost and fast. Pretty small board as well, very small. So I guess that's a micro ATX. Yeah, so far that's the best board. So unless I can get a chip that fits that socket, otherwise we can't use it. Right, the next one up is again an Asus, is it? Let's see. Yeah, another Asus, same size board, H81MK. This socket is a 1150, so that was a 5.1, right? Yeah, so this one's a 5.1. This one's a 5.0. Do they go up or down? This has boost technology, turbo boost. All right, what's the RAM? The memory is two DIMMs again, 16 gigabytes. So that can the 51 one can have more, but this can go up to 16, which is more than what I've got. It's a 1150 board, so I can't use it with the chip I have. Graphics, LAN's a gigabyte. Okay, so another gigabit LAN. Bunch of words like boost. This one just has loads of boost words on here. BIOS, we're not interested in that in a minute. I don't know if that makes any difference in a minute, or I haven't learned about it. And yeah, that's about it. So this is second best, right? Because, well, this was tied with this one really, except for the internet. So yeah, second best because of the internet, but this one is the only one that can take my CPU at the moment. So I could swap this out today into my machine. That's considering the board even works. We don't even know that. That's the problem with getting second-hand stuff, guys. One, you don't know if it works. Two, you don't know if it's what's on the box is what's in the box. So let's quickly open this one. I did print out using these X58A UD3R, but I didn't bother check if it. Oh, this one's shiny. Holy. Okay, bigger board than these. Ooh, it looks like it might have a CPU with it, so I won't have to find that. LGA 1366 has RAM as well. Holy cow, Corsair RAM. Doesn't say what speed they are. Has a nice looking board with all the gold, but I think it's dated. And you can tell it's dated with the VGA. There's no DVI at least, so it's older than these. Let's see what the specs are saying. Alright, yeah, so LGA 1366 CPU, which I hope there's a CPU in there. Memory, here we go. DR3, 24 gigabytes. Alright, 24 gigabytes of memory. So I wonder what a CPU is clocking that at. This could be a Goro as well. USB 3. Alright, the only other thing is internet. Doesn't say anything about the internet. Does it even have internet? It does have an internet connection. Doesn't say what the internet connection is, but it can hold up to, where's the memory again? But it looks like it can hold up to 24 gigabytes. That's pretty good, right? How do you do 24 in 2 slots? That would be 12. Can you get a 12 stick? So that's weird. Maybe this spec sheet isn't right. It definitely looks older than the rest, and it doesn't have a connection. The mouse, like you can tell it's older. So I'd be surprised if that's 24 gig of RAM. I don't know what they are that's actually in there. It'd be good to know what CPU's in there, but I'll come back to this one because we do have a 32 gig one here, but we don't have the CPU. So we do have one that can go to 16. This one's definitely on the top at the minute with regards to being able to use it right now, but this one's at the top with regards to just better overall specification. Okay, so that leaves us with this and understanding what is in there. Okay, so this one here is the GA170HD3. this says it supports i7 generation, so this supports Intel when I was told it was AMD. So I want to have a look at that, so we're going to open this up now. H12 Express chip, it can hold 64 gigabytes of RAM, so that's interesting. It's DDR4. If that's DDR4, that would bring another board back into play, because I now have DDR4, which I thought I didn't have. I got DDR4 RAM, perfect, and they are 16 gigabyte. Holy cow, 16 gigabyte. I got two 16 gigabyte sticks, which means that board will come into play because I have the capacity. I think the RAM was in the wrong spot. Let's see what CPU we got in here. Now those of you can tell by the bracket, but I can't tell, so I'm going to have to undo it because I'm just an ordinary guy learning about this stuff. Let me clean that up. It's an Intel Core i7, so interesting. I thought it was AMD. So we have an Intel Core i7. What do we do, guys? I got 32 gig of DDR4. This is a DDR4. This can take an M.2. Holy cow. Hold on a minute. I just saw that. M.2. 32 gigabytes M.2. Can this one take an M.2? No. Alright. So it looks like at the moment this is winning. Is it winning? So we can have them. We've got the memory, DDR4, but that also can fit in this one. We've got a chip in here already. We don't have a chip for that. Don't know what socket this was again. What was the socket? 1150. What was this? 1151. And what was this socket? 1151. So they're both 1151. This can handle 64 gigabytes. And that can handle 32, I thought it said before. 32. Now what speed can it handle of the... So the other thing about memory is speed. 2133 megahertz, and so can that one. So that's the same. And then the LAN. What about the LAN? USB 3. So the LAN here is 10100 1000 megabyte, 8111H gigabyte. So I have no idea. Okay guys, so to make that a bit more all understandable, I have inputted all of the specs into the spreadsheet. Over here is my current motherboard, and we're just concentrating on the motherboards. And so the best motherboard I have is this Gigabyte B450. However, it's an AM4 socket, which doesn't match the LG A1155 socket that I need for the CPU in my current setup. The second best board is the Gigabyte GAH170 HD3, but again, don't have the right socket for this CPU. However, there is a CPU in this motherboard already, so if we can get this one to work, this will be the best board. I'm not going through the CPUs in this video. We'll do that on the next video, and if I do have an AM4, then obviously we'll be using this board. So the third best one is the Asus H110, and the only thing I'm judging these on at the minute are the capabilities of the RAM. The B450 can do 128 gigabytes capacity of RAM with 4 slots. Again, with the Gigabyte GAH170, 4 slots, and it can do 64 gigabytes. Then the Asus can do 32 gigabytes with 2 slots. The Asus H81 can do 2 slots and 16 gigabytes. So these are all better than the 8 gigabytes in my current system. The ASRock H110 Pro BTC, this is that mining motherboard, can do 32 gigabytes. Put it here for now because it's a mining rig. It's actually probably better than this one. It's an LGA 1151. So actually that's probably in 4th spot. The next one after that is the ASRock H61MS, and again, because it has a capability of 16 gigabytes with dual channel, and the one after that in 6th places is the H81MK. Again, it has 16 gigabytes capacity of memory or RAM with 2 slots. All of these are better than the 8 gigabytes, and the reason I've put the H61MS before the H81MK is because I have the CPU. The LGA 1155 matches the CPU I have in the moment, although it's a lesser chipset than this one. Apparently this H81 is a better chipset, can handle faster memory, so maybe this would be 5th place and this would be 6th place. Yeah, so basically these two are not really much difference. Probably this one is actually better, the H81, because it's got a better chipset, but I don't have an LGA 115 until we go through all the CPUs in the next episode. The one after that is this Gigabyte GA-H55, however, and I put it better than the one I have at the moment because I'm not quite sure, but it has a H55 Express chipset, which might be better than the Intel H61, I don't know, but it's got an LGA 1156 socket, so it won't match into here, and it also has 8 gigabytes of memory max, which is what I've got already. And then after that we know the Foxconn, the Intel. I put the Asus MCP in here even though I didn't really go through the specs. And the Gigabyte, well, it possibly could be in 8th place. I just don't know much more about it, but I know it's an older board and it's an LGA 1366 socket, but it does have the capabilities of 24 gigabytes of RAM, but I don't know if my spec sheet was
was right. So I've put it at the end here for now until I get a better understanding about this board. So as it stands, if we can get the GAH170 working, then this will be the board we use, or if we can find an AM4, then this would be the best board. So let's head back over to the table now.
Alright guys, so it's a toss up. Apparently this one doesn't work, so what do? I can use this chip in there to see if it works in there, and I can just try and test this chip out. We have a cooler here. I think that's what we do. So this board can go straight in and I can increase the RAM. This board is behind these other ones, so we can take this one off the table. So between those two, we know we can get that one in, but we don't know if it works, right? So I could do all that work and it could not work. Interesting decision to make. Alright, so what does that leave us? That leaves us with these two. So we have, and the person who gave me this says it doesn't work. What we'll do is we'll test it out. I think this is our better board because it can support more RAM at the minute. I do like this board. 3.0 DVI, VGA, more USB ports. It's smaller though, very nice. This one has more PCI slots, which are these long ones. Other PCI slots, I think these are 16s, so 2 16s, a couple of smaller ones. It can take an M.2 though, which is interesting. I've never experienced that. I may have to purchase an M.2 for this. 4 slots, it's a bigger board. IAO is pretty similar. Why does that have USB 3.0, lots of USB 3.0, internet, DVI, so same connections, nothing on the back. I think we try and make this one work, or we see what's wrong with it anyway. So the guy said it didn't turn back on. It was working, went off, doesn't work. First thing I'm going to do, remove this battery, remove this out the way, and we're going to come back to it. So we possibly do have a CPU and a motherboard that's better than what I've got. That'll be good. First thing I'm going to do is clean this fan up. Oh, look at that. Clean that up. You see that? I can just wash that under the water, right? Alright, let me go and clean this up. Okay, fan is clean. Cooler is drying. What could possibly be wrong that I can't see? Piece of grass here. Other than the RAM being in the wrong place straight off the bat. I'm just going to look at all the cap. None of them seem to be leaking. Battery is removed, so we can check the voltage on the battery. 3 volts, so battery's good. I don't know if you saw that, guys. So 2.99 should be 3 volts, so that should be fine. I'm going to spray the board with alcohol and give it a good brushing over and then power it up, I guess. Why not? Okay guys, board is all cleaned up. I don't see any issues with any of the capacitors or anything obviously missing. I'm really surprised. This CPU is a Core i7 6700K, which means it is a 4-core 8-thread CPU, and it clocks in at 4.2 gigahertz, which is nearly a gigahertz more than mine, and obviously 4 more threads. So it's a better CPU than the one I have. So that's superb. What I'll do, I'll just use the toothbrush on the big parts and over the big areas. Use the brush to get into all the slots, and then use Q-tips or earbuds, depending where you're from, to get into all the little places I couldn't get to with these. So yeah, that's about it. I think the battery's good, so we can keep the battery. I'm just going to wait for everything to dry now, and then what we can do, I'll just use alcohol, obviously isopropyl alcohol, as you've seen me do many times now. Yeah, what I think we'll do is figure out how much power this needs more than what I already have. I think I'm way over the power capacity. Anyway, I need to get a power supply that's going to match. We're just going to turn on the CPU for now. Don't worry about the graphics card. So I need to figure out how much power we need for the CPU and the board, and then work out all the other things like the RAM, the hard drives, and the graphics card, and what this board in total will need as a power supply. Don't think it's going to be more than 500, but yeah, let me work that out.
Okay, so I'm using something called Extreme Outer Vision, and what you do is you just punch in all the details of your setup, and it will calculate the total wattage of your setup. Mine calculates at 196 watts. It recommends a 500 watt power supply because it's given about 246 headroom. Usually they say it's about 200 watts headroom for whatever reason. Yeah, what I have in there is I think 650, or I know it's more than 500 anyway, or 500. So we are good.
I've learned my lesson, guys. I can now clean my CPUs with it still in the socket, because if you remember when I cleaned my very first clean, I took the CPU out and then I tried to clean the socket and I ended up bending all the pins, which is on that board, the Foxconn board. But luckily we don't need that Foxconn board at the minute. I am going to try and repair it. Yeah, I think that's the plan. Let this dry out, then put it all back together, do a makeshift setup here just to see if it's working. If not, we can try the CPU in this board, and that'll be the plan, guys. Alright, so it looks like I don't need to go through all of these CPUs that I've collected. I may do what I've done with this one and put 771. So this is a socket 771, which is no good for any of the boards I have. That's no good. That's a Pentium with an AMD pin layout. Don't know if we can use that on the AMD boards. This is a Core i7 6700, so it's the same as this but not a K. This is without the K. Oh, that's good. This is an Intel Core i5 44540. Don't know how many cores or how many threads at the minute. This is i5 760. Don't know anything about that one. This is a Pentium 6850. Don't know if that's any good. This is i3 2120. I think that's the one I've got in my machine already. This is a Pentium 04. Pentiums are meant to be good, right? I don't know. And then this was an Intel E6750. And I put a mark on here because I've tried this twice now on different boards. But now what I'm realizing is maybe the chipsets weren't correct. So that's one thing I've learned so far, is that the CPU needs to match the chipset. If you put the wrong CPU in the wrong chipset, you could fry both the motherboard and the CPU. I've learned that along the way, not by doing it, by just reading. So yeah, let's let this dry out and then we'll come back to it and start putting it all together. We'll make a makeshift PC out here on the table and see if it works. Alright people, I think we're about ready. Board seems to be dried out. I've got myself a monitor here now. We've got a power supply here which fits this board, and we managed to get and find 400 watt power supply. Should be alright. I also couldn't help myself but got a better battery, so I'll just show you. This battery is coming in at 3.3, so much better, so we'll use that. Alright, let's put this PC together. So the CPU is still in there. In goes the battery, sits fine. We're going to need to hook up a hard drive. Don't know what's on that hard drive. Now we're going to put the RAM in the right slots. So I don't know if you can see on the side here, I've got 1, 3, 2, 4. So we're going to go with 1 and 2 for starters. That's one well in. Right, we need to put the cooler on there. I'm not going to put thermal paste on there at the moment. We're just going to test, see if it turns on. Put that on there. Just going to rest this on there. Okay, next is the power supply. We're also going to need a power button, aren't we? Hold on a minute. Try and use this. Alright, power button. Don't have a speaker connected up. Should be handy. Okay, plugs ready, power's ready. Alright, let's connect up power cable. Be in. And these are all for added stuff. We are looking for the CPU. Here it is. So the CPU on this board seems to have 6. I have 2 4s and a 6. Do I put all 6 in there? So maybe not. Hold on a minute. Doesn't say CPU on here. It might be this one. I need to read the manual. So this is a first for me. I'm used to having a 4 power connector, like a 4-pin power connector, and this does have a 4-pin if I connect these two together. So I don't know if that's the right thing to do. The manual doesn't help me. So there's space for 4. There's space for 8. I'm going to put 8. If anyone knows why there's an 8-pin for the CPU here, I would love to know. Next thing we're going to do, put the fan on. Just connect the fan. It tells me system fan, yeah? Where does it say CPU fan actually? Sorry, CPU fan over here. CPU fan connected. Alright, now we need to connect any one of these to the hard drive. So that would be powered. Okay, hard drive's connected. Fan's connected. Power button's connected. What's next? Let's hook up the monitor. I've already prepared the cable. I'm going to go with the DVI type for now. We'll test VGA after maybe if it's not working. That's on, that's on. Okay, we can now plug in the monitor. We can put the cooler on here for now. Now we can plug in the power. So are you ready guys? Moment of truth. 3, 2, 1. Turning on power. Nothing's happened. Okay, good. Now 3, 2, 1. I'm going to press the power button. Ooh, check it out. We got lights, we got fan. Do we have a post? Could this be my new motherboard and CPU? Let's try turning the monitor on manually. Oh no, it's turned off. Oh wait, it's turning back on. Maybe it's configuring. Look at that power strip light up. That's cool. Come on, come on. Monitor's going back asleep. Whoa, hold on a minute. Yes, check this out. Starting Windows. So there's Windows on this hard drive. Come on. Alright, we're going to have a new motherboard and CPU, guys. Fantastic. I don't know who the boat is, but check your boat out. It's on, guys. It is on. Alright, how do we turn it off quickly? Shutting down. That's fantastic news, guys. Absolutely fantastic. Right, we're going to put this into my PC now. And that'll be the upgrade done. New motherboard and new CPU. Yes. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Got my PC. Grab yourself a coffee. Hold on to your pants. Because I have no idea what dangers lie ahead in this treacherous terrain, as I've never changed a motherboard before. So it's my first time. Obviously I put the motherboard in here in the first place, so that's. But as for putting that motherboard in here with the components we have in here is all new to me. Let's get cracking. Got nice little thumb turns here, and a thumb turn here. And while we're in here, we are going to clean up some of this dust that's accumulated over the past century, or the last time that I put this together. Right, come on. There you go. Not too bad. Bit of dust. I'll clean that. Right, how's it looking in here? Oh, the fans are dusty. The hard drive's on its back. Where's the SSD? I think I'll put that up here. Yeah, the SSD's up there. I need to sort out how to hold the hard drive. And yeah, look at the fan. Oh dear, that is disgusting. Yuck. So I'm wondering, can I put that cooler on there? Oh, actually, no, we're going to put the... oh, that's good. That is good. So we're going to put the heatsink tower on here. So that's going to be good, right? I can't remember what type of power supply this was, but it only has a 4-pin from memory. Yeah, it only has 4-pin. So do I need 8-pin for the board? That's interesting. What happens if you put 4 pins and not 8? Because it worked with 8 pins that I put in. So it looks like we've got to change out this power supply. Well, alright then. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to take out is power's off, right? There's no power. Take out the graphics card. It helps if you undo the latch. Graphics card that was newly installed not long ago, so no dust on that. Disconnect my hard drive. So the first problem I see is the power and the 8-pin. Do I need to take everything apart? Possibly, because we may have to change this power supply. SSD's a bit dusty. Okay, now that's the power. Those are the power pins. That's the big power plug. And the CPU could probably come out. However, so what happened to this drive? Oh, I never connected it. You see? Ooh, what is this? Alright, let's take out the CP. Let's take out the motherboard. See what we're working with. Looks like we're going to have to change some of the orientation of the standoffs underneath, but that's a thing. But I'm excited, guys. 32 gigabytes of RAM, faster processor. Are we going to be able to play a game? And are we going to be able to edit in DaVinci Resolve? That's the goal. Should be able to now, right? Once if it all works. Ooh, yeah. Oh, and the fan can leave that. Yeah, so we had 8 gigabytes here and here. It's a shame we don't have 4 sticks for that motherboard. The fan needs a bit of a clean, but we don't have to worry about that for now. We can do that later on because she's out of here. You did me well. Thank you. Oh, good motherboard. We will be putting it in another PC and we will be giving it away. Anything I don't use, guys, I do give it away. So don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, get people to subscribe. All of that good stuff. Because once we hit sort of like another 1,000 and another 1,000, then I may decide to keep giving away PCs, right? So that's the idea, but we need to get to the first one first. Alright, IO shield. Do I need to put a different... Oh, I don't have an IO shield for it. What are we going to do about that? We don't have an IO shield. We do have IO shields. We need to find one that fits. That is not going to fit. If not, we won't use an IO shield. Okay, so let's have a look at this power supply. We've got one 4-pin here. There is something tucked and stuck. I'm going to have to take off the other side. Not too much dust, a little bit. Very good, very good. Right, oh, my fans. So I managed to hook them up a funny way. So that's going to be ruined. Oh, there's didn't hook up these bits as well. So we will try and hook those up now. What do we have here? AC 97, what does that stand for? Air conditioning. And we got HD audio. So HD audio, huh? So we are going to have to undo my work here. Wait, I wanted to check this. So we have, this is a different one. This is for PCI Express. So I'm guessing that's a graphics card. PCI Express again. That's 6. That is 6. Oh, hold on a second. That is 4 and 4. That's an 8. Will that do it? So, okay. We're going to try and stick with this power supply because we have an 8-pin here. So I didn't have to take everything apart. But we do want to try and fix our CD drive and our USB 3. Right. So we're going to stick this through the grommet. We're going to keep everything the same. How did I route the other power plug? Going from here to there. Right, so we're going to swap this one out like so, and we're going to try and pull this one through instead. Here's the 8-pin that I want. Right, new idea. We need these grommets to stay put, please. Right, we need the grommets to stay put. We don't want this one coming through here anymore. Oh my. I have no idea how to wire it. So we put the motherboard in first and see where the power bars are. So then we'll know where to put these. It's crazy. Right, we've got you going through there. USB, we need you going through there as well. Everything go through there. Which means my fans will continue to work. Maybe one day I want to put more hard drives. You never know. Right, what are you guys? I don't need you guys. Right, so you guys can be routed back to whence you came, which was kind of tucked in there. And maybe one day when I get a graphics card that takes power, we can use those. Okay, so that's that. This is this. Beautiful. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Alright, we'll come back to that. What is this again? Now, flips you over. Holy schmoly! I have a PCSI here still. Why? Why are you here? Oh, here's the other 4-pin. So, how do I want to route? What a disaster. Some sort of organized chaos. Where have you gone? Come back. Right, I did want you to go there, but you're not going to fit, are you? No, you're not. So, in that case, because we need to route you all the way up to the top, I believe. Where was that 8-pin? Yeah, right at the top. Okay, so you can go through there. Up the other side. Up through the top. Please, go. Okay, you went through there. Stay there. You're good there. Just stay there too. Now, the problem is this and this intertwine. Okay, happy with that. Whose idea were these grommets? I need to speak to them. Whose idea was this grommet? Who? It's a great idea, these grommets. I believe that will be as neat as we can be for now. Now, let's get back to the other side. Hopefully, this is the 8-pin will work. Oh my god, the bend is not good. Okay, the bend is good. The bend is good. Yeah, hopefully that is the 8-pin that will work with that motherboard. Now, before we put her in, should we check if... No, we're going to put this tower. We're going to use this one, right? Is this going to be better than... wherever the hell the other one went? It's still on the board. So is that better than this one? I guess we'll find out, huh? So, here's the cooler. This slides in. And then scissors out and then sits on there. But first we got to put some beautiful thermal paste. So I've actually got the new MX6. I think this is the new one. Links in the description. Help out the channel. Yeah, apparently this is the new one. So we're going to try this out. Especially since we got an i7 6700K now. It's got a K at the end of it. That's good stuff. Okay, I like to use a spreader. I know you can do the crisscross and you can do the dot. I know you can do the 5 dots, 6 dots, hut and all of that. But I will put some on like so. And then I will spread it. That way I know that there's thermal paste all over it. Alright, we are ready to mount. We have touchdown, give it a little squish and a squash. Okay, I got it. So you've got to lift the screws up and then move them out or in to get the alignment. Alright, let's screw them in. But as you do that, the tower moves. Okay, we got it. Figured it out. So this middle part sits in a hole that's on top of the block that's inside there that I couldn't see, and then you have to push these up and then move them in and out until you get the right placement, and now you can tighten them up in a crisscross pattern, which is the bit I was going for. So crisscross, and now there is a thing in the middle. Do you turn that too? Alright, well, it's on. We're in. Okay, we did it. Next, thermal paste everywhere now. We're probably going to need that again because the standoffs are wrong on this now. What else do we need to do before we can put the motherboard in? Done the RAM. We know that's seated right because it booted. We've done cooler. Let's line up these standoffs. Oh, we don't have an IO shield. Oh no. Let's look for one. Alright guys, I tried all the IO shields I have and none of them fit. These were the closest because they have the 6 dots on the side, but it doesn't fit. And this one as well. It looks like I'm going to have to try and find an IO shield on eBay. But I also checked those boxes with the other motherboard and they don't have it. So no shield for now. So let's go. Let's put it in. Alright guys, we're going to go for it. I'm just going to move the standoffs that were on the right here to the 2 bottom ones here as well. Because this board is long ways for whatever reason. So we have 2, 4, 6 standoffs. And on the board we have 2, 4, 6 standoffs. Let's go. Down, but she's on the power that she needs. And now I need to try and bend this. Okay, let's lock the motherboard down. Let's lock her down first. I may have to take this cooler off. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to take this cooler off to be able to get to screws and plug stuff in a minute. Oh man, that was tough to get on as well. Yes, I need you out of the way for the minute, please, sir. What a nightmare. Right, we know how to put it back on though, so should be no problem. Alright, let's get this plug in. We did it guys, so I managed to route the 8-pin connector up through this grommet, up the back and into the 8-pin connector for the CPU power. That was a struggle. Let's lock down the motherboard. I'm going to have to reapply thermal paste because it went absolutely everywhere. Boy, that was a struggle, not going to lie. One thing I will say, this gold cable now matches the gold Gigabyte labels, right? Black and gold, starting to be a theme here. But beggars can't be choosers, so just so happens we got lucky with the colour scheme. Right, more thermal paste and then we should be able to start moving. Right. Now this bloody thing, pain of my life, this is what's caused all the pain. This tower, because there's just no room. But now I know how to do it. It goes on first time. Now where's the fan header? Because I'm not going to be struggling with that now, am I? Oh, it's right there. Phew. Got the CPU fan headers there. Right, people, we are getting places. We got the CPU, so now we need the fan. This is going to be the fan, and that's going to sit right there. So we don't want it to be hanging out. So if we do that, this is not great, is it? So we want this fan to suck the air, and we want this fan to suck the air. So we're going to go around this way. Don't know how to route this cable without it showing. Like that maybe? That's not bad. Alright, we'll keep that. Now I need another fan header. Unfortunately, it has to go there, which is going to be in the way. Okay, CPU fan is on. CPU cooler is on. So that sucks in the air, blows it through, takes away the hot air, straight out the back, boom, boom, boom. Now I need this. Oh no. Here we go. Luckily this lines up, but it's facing the wrong way. Right, that one weren't too bad. So for whatever reason, for all its years, this has been bent one way to fit a motherboard, and this one decides to go a different way. Oh well, we got over that. Next, what is this? We don't need you. Why are you here? and now we have all of you left to do. We can close up the back, I believe, so let's try that, and then we can deal with these cables and possibly hook up the CD drive. Let's go people. Alright guys, that's as best as I'm going to be able to cable manage this machine because it's crazy. Okay, I'm going to try and close this as it is. Okay, I can live with that. I can live with that one. Alright, where's this thing? Now I noticed some of these are bent, probably why it wasn't shutting properly. So helps if you put it the right way. Now are you going to shut for me, please? By golly, she's in. Beautiful stuff. I was going to clean the front fans. After this ordeal, I'm going to have a rest. I just hope she powers back on afterwards. Okay, that leaves us with what? This bloody grommet again. Stay like that then. This thing. So now I need to figure out USB 30, USB 3.2, USB 3.1. So I think we can put you in one of these. Do you see it in there? Alright, we didn't have that before. Oh no, we got these bloody things. Alright, I know where audio goes, right? And it's not long enough. Okay, well the audio isn't long enough to reach all the way over there. How do I get it? How do I get an extension for that? Maybe it doesn't need an extension. Maybe it just needs less bending. Yes. We'll have to come back and fix that another day. We have the audio cable running straight across the board now, which is great. USB. I got another system fan header. Ooh, very nice, very nice. Now, I need to figure out what is what here with this, which is reset switch, power HD, power. I need the manual. Right people, we are all connected. Power, I believe, is connected correctly. Audio is broken here, so I need to fix that one day. So what's left? Graphics card. And we just dropped our screws. Great. Okay, graphics card lined up nice. I'm missing that bar. What did I do with that bar? Doesn't matter for now. We can come back to that. Right, so SSD, and we need a cable. Plug the cable into one of these. And now we need power to the SSD. Boom. Alright, SSD is plugged in. Should we try and power it on first without the other hard drive and see where we're at? Okay, let's go over to plug it in over there. Holy cow, this was long. Grommets all over the place. I don't care anymore. Let's see what it does. Let's give it a go. Alright people, moment of truth. Everything is plugged in. Are you ready? Press this power button. Oh, did I turn it on? Alright, I figured it out. So I didn't have my power button configuration correctly. I'll check it out guys. There's the motherboard and it's got the lights down the side with the traces, and she is powering on, I think. Gigabyte, delete for BIOS. I'm not doing anything at the moment. Yes, there we have it guys. Right, let's see if all the memory is being logged.
Alright, so we're in task just by pressing Control Alt and Delete, and we can see here that the i7 6700K CPU at 4 GHz, which is good. That's all up and running. Sockets 1, cores 4, processors 8, which is the threads. So everything seems to be good here. Memory is showing 16 gigabytes. I thought we had two 16 gigabytes. Maybe I have that wrong. We're using 2 slots of the 4. So yeah, definitely got to check that out probably in the next video. But at least it's better than the 8 that we did have. Disk is working. Samsung SSD. And that's the hard drive. Internet working. Nothing happening there at the minute. And GPU utilization, because I'm screen recording, 97%. So our next bottleneck looks like it's going to be a GPU. Don't think no one's going to be giving any better GPUs anytime soon, so we'll see about that. Anyway, let's run some tests. Let's run a Cinebench test and a Heaven benchmark and see what we get, what scores we get compared to what we had. Okay guys, just finished Cinebench R23 on a single core and we scored 1117. Puts us in 5th place on this little scoreboard here, which is pretty good. I think first time I've ever seen us this high up, which is better than a Ryzen Threadripper. So yeah, pretty good at the moment. Our temperature reached 58 and I'm now going to start the multi-core and see what that does. And we just finished the multi-core and we get 5384, scoring 9 on the leaderboard, so that's pretty good, or 9 on this ranking board. And yeah, just behind the i7 7700K CPU, so pretty good score. We did hit 62C on this, and as you can see, we're maxing out all of the cores, 4.2. yeah, so all in all, very happy with the CPU here. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think? This is not overclocked or anything like that, just standard. Yeah, pretty good. So let's go go over to Heaven and see what kind of FPS we get out of this system now. Okay, so Heaven has finished and we get an average of 8.2 FPS on this and a score of 206. We did hit a max of 16 FPS, so not too great on this. It looks like the GPU is now the next thing that's bottlenecking this system, but hopefully the main goal is at the moment is to try and get this system to edit. We are not going to test a game out at the moment. We'll do that when I've finished upgrading all of the parts to this system in the coming episodes.
There we have it. So looks like, guys, all I've got to do is play around with probably the BIOS and configure it around a bit and see what that is and try and get the 32 gigabytes of RAM working. But we've done it. I have more upgrades. Don't forget to subscribe. As soon as we hit the 500, I'll do the giveaways. As soon as we hit the 1,000, I'll do another giveaway. As soon as I finish with the laptops, I'm going to give those away and then give my one away. I appreciate you guys. It's been epic. I'll see you on the next one.